Hi everybody, it's Mark Sage, Executive Director of the AR for Enterprise Alliance, or better known as the Area, and we're here with another industry-leading podcast and an industry leader indeed. Um, Ryan from PTC, hey, you guys have been an Area member from almost the very start. Ryan, it's really great to have you on. Really always interesting to speak to you. You've really got your fingers kind of on the pulse of what's happening in the industry. So maybe if I can just ask you to introduce yourself and your role at PTC.
Yeah, you bet. Thanks, Mark. At BTC, yeah, we're very proud of our involvement in being with the area, from almost the very beginning. So happy to be here and happy to be discussing some of the latest trends and things happening when it comes to AR and XR. I'm Ryan Orwoll. I lead our product management team for Vuforia at PTC. So Vuforia is PTC's line of augmented reality or XR solutions. So we focus on industrial manufacturing and really bringing the ability, to customers that are looking to leverage AR and get the value, out of it that they can for their use cases, for their verticals, and really proud to support what they're looking to do and see the value that they're getting out of it.
Yeah, thanks, Ryan. You do a great job. So let me start with the first question. Um, as we both know, XR has seen waves of adoption across industries. We've got lots of early pilots, but also I know you've got a huge amount of experience of mature deployments. From your perspective at PTC, where do we stand today? How have enterprises' attitudes towards XR evolved, and what trends are shaping the next phase of adoption?
Great. Yeah, great question, Mark. So where we stand today is actually really exciting. So we're seeing, a lot of great adoption, really across the board, from a lot of different angles. What's exciting is that, customers are more and more, realizing, like, through going through, initial investigations, proof of concepts, pilots, and the, full on, in production rollouts, just how XR, just greatly improves their workforce productivity. I mentioned we're focused on the industrial manufacturing side, and so seeing customers be able to move away, from their paper-based instructions to more of a, in context, like, have the information when they need it, where they need it, through digital work instructions, and really enabling their workers to be much more of a connected worker, having that information, having that data, readily available to them. And so when I said, we're excited to see this, like, across so many different angles, adoption happening. What I mean by that is we're seeing it, like, really in so many different, industries, so many different verticals. So, like, we see it in aerospace and in defense, automotive. It's really picking up. Just general, industrial manufacturers, original equipment manufacturers. But then even like medical device companies and electronics and high tech also are all, really coming, on board with understanding, like, how AR and Vuforia product lines can really, help them, help their frontline workers, be much more digital, much more connected, to what they're doing, and by providing them, those workers, the tools that they need, through new cutting edge, tools. We see the excitement. We see the realization of their companies, care and really are focused on ensuring that they have everything that they need to be successful. We see it a lot of times. We focus on the desk worker and making sure that we have all the software and the tools, that those workers need. But most of the workers at all these companies are on the front line. They're out doing service. They're on the factory floor. And now, with what's changing when it comes to devices and XR, really getting, new advanced capabilities and technology, into their hands. And so not only across those verticals, like we're seeing it across so many different use cases as well. We at PTC, we tend to break it down into three main use cases when it comes to engineering or design, and then manufacturing and service. And it's across all of those as well. I'm sure we'll dig into more specifics on each of those. But what's really cool is how it really applies, how the capabilities and technology of AR applies to so many different areas, so many different verticals, and the value can be seen across all of those things. A couple of examples, like on the manufacturing side a little bit. We have one large OEM or industrial manufacturer that is really focused and taken off on using XR for inspection. And they've recently just rolled this out and have brought on 1,500 active users on using these capabilities, and it's across 140 sites. So this is not just like simple and localized to one area. This is across countries where they're rolling this out, and they just hit their 10,000th run of using XR to do an inspection, of guiding the user to the right place, looking at the right thing. And the value that they're getting is what's really impressive and exciting for us to see and hear, because what they're finding is that they're averaging, by using XR, they're finding 2.1 defects per inspection run. So just imagine the increase in quality of the products that they're putting out as a result of giving the frontline workers the tools that they need.
Amazing. Yeah, thank you, Ryan. It's great to hear some numbers like that. Yeah, we know PTC has been a major player and the player in driving kind of industry and enterprise solutions, particularly through your work with Vuforia and stuff like that. You've mentioned the inspection use case. Maybe it'd be good to touch on maybe a couple of others, and especially as you mentioned before about the kind of delivering of tangible business benefits, because that's why enterprises use this technology. They need to solve a problem and offer some real benefits. So maybe you can touch on, say, two more different use cases.
Yeah, absolutely. So if we break down, well, let's focus on sort of manufacturing and service. That's where we see, the biggest return, the biggest value across our customer base. To be honest, though, it's in both of those areas, it starts with training. So training, by far the best place to start when it comes to digging into and realizing and rolling out, how can we use XR to get these values. Training is great. It's a perfect starting point, because it's a little bit more controlled. We know we've got new workers coming in, or we've got new procedures, new processes that need to be followed, and you can use XR as a new better way to ensure that the workers, the new people coming onto the team can retain that knowledge. By seeing it in XR, it resonates much more than it does through reading paper-based instructions or even watching videos. So we have customers like Volvo who using training, and they're seeing a 60% time savings on getting their quality operators, so inspectors, up to speed to know where they need to be looking, where they need to be working, for each step. And that's a very, very common result that we're seeing from many different customers. The flip side about what's really cool about using XR for training is proven. A good example of this comes from Merck, one of our other customers, in a very, very different in a vertical or industry than Volvo. But what they found is that because they're creating these training procedures and the curriculum around that, it's increased their subject matter experts' time by 70%, that they can be focused on doing actual work, out, on the floor, instead of training the new people. So by having that content, available, that can be pushed out, shared to wherever, it allows the subject matter experts to keep doing, what they're doing. And those are the people that you want, on the floor, on the factory, or out doing service. So that's a really cool, byproduct of not only getting the people up to speed faster, but ensuring that your experts that would have been doing that training, can be doing the work that you want and getting the most value out of them.
So I think it's a really good point, because a lot of people think that AI is going to actually take over their jobs, but what they're doing is allowing kind of people to work on the really valuable and important stuff, and being able to come, like you say, the training or the simple kind of thing. So I think it's really important that people understand that, XR allows people to, as I say, really solve the difficult problems and use XR to do the mundane stuff.
Exactly right. We talk about this a lot with AI, is that, AI is not going to like take all of our jobs, but it will, for the people that are really good at using AI, they're going to be the ones that, take jobs from others. Same with AR. Those, that can use AR and apply AR, correctly are going to see the value out of that and get the opportunities as a result.
Awesome.
Well, so going back to the other use cases that you mentioned there. So if we switch then from training into manufacturing, obviously training for manufacturing purposes is very, very common, but then also for assembly and inspection, as you mentioned earlier. So we see a ton of value or our customers realizing a ton of value in assembly and inspection as well, of ensuring that as the products are being put together on the floor, are being done correctly. So Harpak Alma is another one of our customers using Vuforia products in this way. They're doing it for like it's a really complex process it's like a complete tool rebuild that they're doing that normally can take multiple hours to do, or even up to like 24 hours to do this like complete rebuild of the tooling on the floor. They're seeing this oftentimes now being completed 80% faster than it was before, but the number of errors has gone way down, and so that's super exciting. And one of the reasons for seeing the errors go way down is because of going back to your first question, is around what are the trends that we're seeing in XR. Is the combination of XR AR with AI. And so for example, we have built up that combination, the best of both of those technologies in one of our products called Vuforia Expert Capture, with a feature in Expert Capture that is called Step Check, that as the worker is being guided where they need to look and inspect in a end of line inspection scenario, is this wire properly connected? Is this bolt tightened in all the way, that there's no gaps there? Whatever it may be, we can now use AI to visually identify that just through the camera, through the device that's being used, and give real-time feedback on if they've done that step correctly or not. All that is trained through AI on previous runs. And so now that as the worker is doing it, they can be informed and alerted, that they didn't do something correct before they go on to the next step, or before that product goes out the door. So seeing that combination of those two technologies come together, of not only working in the right place but doing the work correctly, has yielded massive return on investments for our customers, not only in just getting the work done, but also on warranty costs, service costs down the road, by putting out a high quality right in the first time.
No, absolutely. We're doing, as you probably know, in the area, quite a lot of work on that kind of interaction, or AI and XR. So trying to understand the key use cases, developing kind of thought leadership, also looking at some of the challenges around that, a little bit more specific to probably AI than XR in terms of data quality and ethics and stuff like that. So cool. Well, Ryan, let me ask you one last question, and maybe you can kind of give us a few bullet points on this. We both know there are huge benefits of deploying XR, but enterprises are still facing hurdles, and we don't see as many deployments as we would like at scale. What do you see are the biggest challenges the organizations are encountering, and how are you at PTC helping them overcome these barriers?
Yeah, another great question, because this is something that customers run into, every day when it comes to rolling out, new software, new technology. So, some of the challenges that we see are just getting, buy-in, getting sponsorship. So what we always say is start small. Pick one use case, pick one plant, pick one assembly line, and focus on one end-to-end process, and prove out the value on how XR makes a big difference on either improving the efficiency of the worker, reducing scrap or rework, or putting out those high quality products like we mentioned earlier. And then make sure you capture the value of what it was before. How long did it take, when the user wasn't trained using XR, or was using a paper-based instructions to follow that procedure, and compared to what it is now with the new technology. And it becomes very obvious then how much value that you're getting, and then you can extrapolate that out to the other lines in the plant, the other locations, the other products that also need to be serviced, and then use that to get executive buy-in and sponsorship, making sure that not only have you proved out the value, but you've got executives in your corner, in your court, that are backing you and supporting you to make sure that the company is behind this. And then what I would say is, once you have that, is find a passionate champion, somebody that is realizing the value, understands the value, and is a vocal and energetic supporter of using the technology and adopting to the changes. There's always going to be resistance to change, in no matter what walk of life or what area. And so, telling somebody that has worked for decades, on the floor or out in the field, and knows what they're doing, how to do it, can have some pushback, or there can be hesitation just on trying something new or adopting something new. But with a passionate champion that is pushing it and creating that excitement and getting people bought in, it becomes much easier to get over that hurdle of that organizational change and adoption that has to go with it. So I would say, to recap that, start small, and then make sure you've got buy-in from that executive sponsorship, and then somebody that's really passionate about pushing it out and making sure that the whole organization, the whole company, can also get in on the value that XR can provide.
That's some amazing words, and I think you almost taught me those things many years ago, and that's something we certainly echo throughout the area, and then when we talk about it. So, Ryan, just want to thank you again for your insights, and again, let's catch up again as PTC continues to deliver some leading edge products, and it'll be great to get your updates there. But today, thank you very much, and thank you for all the work that you do for our industry.
You bet. Thanks, Mark, and thanks for everything that the area is doing. Happy to be part of it.